am confident. I believe in myself. I'm capable of growth and leadership. What I'm called to do, I will accomplish. Hey, welcome to It's a YP Thing podcast. I'm Pansy Johnson, and I'm all about encouraging, educating, and elevating young professionals. And on this podcast, our mission is to impact the next generation of leaders through authentic conversations and real life experiences. If you have not listened to the first episode, definitely go back and listen to the first episode of this year. Hope it gives you motivation, but I'm super excited to continue this new season of It's a YP Thing podcast. And I'm excited about what we're going to be talking about. And I think that it's very much needed. It's very much needed. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into the conversation. We're not going to waste any time this week. Today, we're going to be talking about walking away with dignity, specifically in your career. In my professional journey, I have met so many individuals that really stay with a job out of fear. Out of the fear of the unknown, out of fear of them feeling like they were too old, out of the fear of if a better opportunity would come, out of the fear that they had just been with that specific company for a long period of time and they did not want to forfeit all of those years they had spent with the company. I've ran into many individuals that are like this. And so today I want to talk about walking away with dignity, knowing when to walk away from people, from things, and especially a job within your career that is no longer serving purpose or fulfillment in your life. 3 key indicators that it's time to leave the job. The first one we're going to start with is you've hit a glass ceiling. When you hit a glass ceiling, that just means there is no opportunity for advancement. There's no opportunity for growth. There's no opportunity for development. At that point, you have truly hit that glass ceiling for you to continue to advance in your career, which is one of the areas that I think most people start to realize. Whether you're a young professional, whether you've been in your career for a long time, when you start feeling like the role that you are within, the job that you're with, there is no area for you to grow in, that you are not growing on a day-to-day basis, you're not being developed, the company is not developing you, the company is not investing in you for that development, it's probably time to go. I was reading up on an article and it said for the upcoming generation, that is one of the top things that we value. We value development. And I know that's a fact because I value development. I value professional development. It is so important for you to feel like you are getting that development, you are getting that growth with whatever company that you are with. Because when you are being developed, those are specific skill sets that are being developed that can help you grow throughout your career. And if you are with a company and you're literally just stagnant and you're doing the same thing every single day, if you even think about leaving a job, it's going to make it harder for you if you do get into the hiring pool and you do start trying to search for a new job. It is going to make it hard because you're just doing the same thing in and out. You don't have anything else that you can utilize to show that you have grown, even though you might be working in a specific department or in a specific role for a long period of time. You still want to have that development showing that you are willing to grow and that you have been willing to learn new things. The second thing is you dread going to work. I know it's somebody watching this like, I dread going to work every day, Pansy. I dread going to work every day. We all have that feeling of, here we go, another day, another dollar. We all have that feeling sometimes. But I'm saying you truly wake up and you literally do not want to go to work. You feel overwhelmed. You feel anxiety. You feel overwhelming sadness or depression of just even wanting to go to work. You are completely unhappy with going to work. That is a problem, and that is an area that you need to focus in on if you start to feel like that. Like, it's just draining me to even think about stepping foot into this building. So one thing I want you to understand is your work, it impacts your mental health, it impacts your emotional health, it impacts how you show up outside of work. right? And you don't want to be constantly bringing work home, constantly, when you get home where you're at your place of peace, you're still thinking about work. You're still dreading going to work. So if you start feeling like that, I want you to zone in on that. I want you to acknowledge it. Don't just put it off. Really focus in on that. And that might just mean that it is time. It's time for you to transition. It's time for you to look for something different, because we do not want work affecting our emotional well-being, our mental well-being. That should not be happening. If it is happening, you need to take a deeper look into that. The next thing I want you to think about is if you start to project your frustration on others. You already are feeling dreadful. You already don't want to go to work. You already feel like you're not growing there. You're not getting any development. And now you're projecting that on other people that actually might be happy within their roles. They might be happy within their career. They might feel like, hey, this is the place I want to retire at. Right? And now you're coming in and you're projecting that on them. And they're thinking, did I do something wrong? But in all actuality, you just are not happy with the job. You are just not happy with the role, and it's time for you to go. That is a real thing. I have encountered that, especially being a young professional, where I have had peers that were miserable in their jobs, had been there for a long period of time, needed to go ahead and find something else. And they just would come to work and just, complain so much about their job. They would even project that on me. I remember I was being trained by someone rude and mean and nasty. And I'm like, did I do something wrong? Like, am I not learning fast enough? Whole time they were just unhappy. They were just unhappy with the role. They weren't happy that they were even having to train me. They were just unhappy in general. And then on top of that, they were going through things outside of work, and they were also projecting that I was unaware of. So it's like, when it gets to that point, it's about time for you to wrap it up. It's about time for you to wrap it up and really think about that. I do want to share an encounter that I had one time with a fellow peer. And so we were just talking. She had been with the company for 25 years. And I do want to pause and take a moment to anybody that is, tuning into this episode that has been with a company for a very long time, 20 plus years. I want to give kudos to you, because that is not a light thing. That to be able to reach that level of tenure, like, I commend you. I really, really commend you, because it just shows your loyalty, your commitment, and just all of your hard work to be with one company. So I do want to commend anyone that is listening that is in those shoes. She had been with the company for 25 years, and I was using this opportunity to be able to get knowledge, to be able to get wisdom from her, because listen, she had been there, done that. Who better to get it from than the person that's been with the company for that long? So I was asking her questions just about her career, how she was able to get to where she was in like a leadership role with the company. And she ended up sharing something with me towards the end of the conversation. She said, I've been with this company for 25 years. And she was like, sometimes I think about leaving. And y'all know my mouth about dropped. I was keeping it together and being very demure, but I was thinking, wow, you've been with this company this long, you wouldn't want to stay. And she had just kind of felt like she wasn't being developed. She started to feel like she had hit a glass ceiling, and she was sharing that with me. And the advice she gave me, she was like, don't be afraid to leave. Don't be afraid to leave a company. She was telling me to leave, not because she did not think that the company was great. She had 25 years with the company. She grew, she did a lot, but she also felt like she was hitting a glass ceiling. And she also felt like, as she looked over her career, she felt like, had she left, she would have been even more farther along in her career. She would have been able to get so much diversification in her resume, so much more experience with different companies, with different individuals. And she just felt like she would have grown even more had she taken the leap and left. And so that's what she was telling me, like, don't be afraid to leave. Don't be afraid to walk away. If you do find a company that you want to stay with long term, yes, but she was like, just speaking in terms of the now, diversify your resume. It sets you apart. It truly sets you apart. So for any young professionals listening, don't be afraid to leave a company. If another door opens, a great opportunity, don't be afraid to take that opportunity and see where it may take you. Don't limit yourself. That's what she was trying to tell me. 25 years with one company, and she was telling me herself, do not limit yourself. So for anyone listening, I want to tell you right now, do not limit yourself. Don't be afraid to walk away with dignity. Last little bonus I also want to give is the reason why you should walk away with dignity, right? When something is no longer serving purpose in your life, is because if you don't, you're going to develop resentment towards the job, towards your career, towards people, towards the role. You'll see someone else getting promoted and you'll be mad at them when you should be happy for them. So you don't want to develop that resentment. Last thing I want to share, my own personal story. I actually was with a company for about 4 years. Loved the company. Did outstanding at the company. The company poured into me. I poured into the company. I couldn't have imagined being with another company at that time, but I ended up having to walk away. And I ended up walking away because I felt like I hit a glass ceiling. I felt like in the role that I was in, it wasn't, the development had stopped. I pretty much felt like I had mastered the role. I was running circles in the role. I was just doing an outstanding job in the role, but I knew that I had hit a glass ceiling. I knew that there was no more growth there. And if it was, I was going to have to be with the company for a very long time before I would see any additional type of growth and development. And so I made the choice to go ahead and put my name into the hiring pool. And I ended up with the company that I am with now, and I'm in the role that I'm in now. And all the things that I have learned since I transitioned, I'm had I stayed, I wouldn't have been able to diversify my resume like I've been able to in such a short amount of time. And I think back to what a young lady told me that was with the company for 25 years. Diversifying your resume. And had I not walked away with dignity, had I not walked away from a job that I knew, okay, I want more growth, I want more development, I want to continue to elevate in my career. Had I not walked away, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I wouldn't be able to truly share this with you all had I not went through it myself. I say all this to say, don't be afraid to walk away with dignity. Walk away with dignity in your career. Walk away in dignity in life. From anything that is no longer serving purpose in your life, walk away with your head held high. I'm going to wrap it up there. I really hope that whoever's listening to this and you're struggling, walking away from whatever it is in life, that this gives you that push to go ahead and take the leap and believe in yourself and know that whatever it is that you want to do in life, wherever you want to go in life, you can do it. It just starts with you and your willingness to walk away with dignity. All right, I'm Pansy Johnson. This is It's a YP Thing podcast. I'm all about encouraging, educating, and elevating young professionals. And on this podcast, our mission is to impact the next generation of leaders through authentic conversations and real life experiences. During this season, we are going to be closing all of the podcasts with affirmations. And so the affirmations today is, I believe in myself. I am confident. I am willing to choose myself, and I am willing to walk away with dignity from anything that is no longer serving purpose in my life. And I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.